As I stand here in our kitchen in Brasov, Romania, I'm about to cook some spaghetti and meatballs over here, which is apropos to our video today, which is a month in Cortona, Italy, and the Tuscan region. Hope you enjoy the video. Welcome to our radical sabbatical. Andrea and I are traveling slow, one country at a time. We hope you get something out of our journey. Please like and subscribe. Welcome to Cortona, Italy. We spent a month here in Tuscany, enjoying this view. It's the kind of view that you get when you see the Grand Canyon for the first time. It's so epic, it just sinks right into your soul. It wasn't easy to get here. After all the stone steps in the town of Cortona, we still had to climb the ancient medieval stairs 3 flights to this flat. But once we looked out these windows, we knew it was all worth it. And when the sun peeked through the clouds, it was epic. Cortona may be small, but it's been made world famous by the movie Under the Tuscan Sun. And on one of our walks, we walked past the house where Diane Lane's character escaped to form a new life here in Tuscany. Andrea and I had similar hopes and dreams with our own version of La Doce Vita, the good life. Just across that view was the nearby city of Montepulciano, where Andrea and I visited next. Its winding, narrow streets end inevitably in beautiful views of Tuscany, just like Cortona. Also in this city are ancient wineries under the main street. Like much of Tuscany, the main street winds through the town and is usually 1 or 2 streets wide. This interesting figure dressed in Neapolitan attire strikes the bell every hour on the hour. And as afternoon sunbeams glow and the clock strikes, we end up back in Cortona for the evening. Our hike to the cell of St. Francis, where he lived in a monastery in a tiny room, highlights his commitment and devotion to live in poverty and seclusion over a wealthy life that he was born into. This desire was to become closer to God. It's a reminder that God can sustain us even when we think our riches are what will keep us going. Living here, St. Francis saw God in nature and respect for living things. He also wanted us to respect the poor and take care of them. He showed believers that holiness could be found in everyday life. In order to learn more about St. Francis, we have visited the city of Assisi where he was born. There's a statue commemorating him after a year of captivity in a war he participated riding in on a horse. This was his spiritual awakening. A few days later, we visited Valle with the rolling hills, Italian cypresses straight out of Gladiator. I started my Hot Springs journey solo at Beni San Filippo, beautiful hot springs with pools and travertine towers, beautiful waterfalls. I convinced Andrea to go with me to Saturnia, which is a cascading waterfall of the hot springs, very relaxing and enjoyable. I enjoyed our time there. I promised Andrea I wouldn't take her picture, but I couldn't resist. For our anniversary, I ordered well-done steak, evidently an insult in Tuscany. Our very Italian waitress, with spite and hand motions, looked at Andrea and said, "I am sorry you're married to this man." We all laughed. This beautiful hilltop town is Pizzaiano. It is often called Little Jerusalem. The residents actually hid the Jews during the Holocaust. Here we are back in Cortona in our lovely living room, and Andrea finding cats. She loves cats. On this day, we headed to the cathedral that commemorates Saint Margaret, who is the patron saint of Cortona. She, after a life of nobility early on, became in penance to the poor and a big servant to the city of Cortona. Her mummified body lies in the cathedral. Being that it was fall, Andrea and I enjoyed fondetta and a ravioli with truffles. Of the many treasures of Cortona, I was most fascinated by the 17th century globe over 12 feet across that tied me back to my college days in the cartography lab. Also beautiful woodwork in the museum, and more sunbeams ending a beautiful Tuscan day. Next up, one of Tuscany's jewels, Siena, famous for its paleo horse race. The heart of the city is Duomo del Siena, amazingly beautiful cathedral in this town. From floor to ceiling, every interior surface of the cathedral is decorated in beautiful majesty. But no trip to Tuscany is complete without the beautiful city and rolling hills of the area around San Gimignano, which I lovingly call San Gim since I cannot pronounce Gimignano. What a gorgeous city. San Gim, given the moniker medieval Manhattan, is famous for its towers. Each family would build a tower. Whoever had the biggest tower was the best. Of course, they're the best. They have the biggest tower. It thrived during the 12th and 13th centuries, and then after that, it was devastated by the Black Plague. People stayed away from the city. Thus, the towers remain. If they had come to the city, they were renovating that style of architecture and changing it over time, tearing them down and building other things in their pace. As a result, beautiful San Gim remains a beautiful example of medieval architecture in central Tuscany, not far from Florence, which is the next of our medieval city-state rivals of the region. San Gim sits on the pilgrimage road from France to Rome. Thus, it was home to many shops and merchants. Nowadays, it's famous for gelato shops and tourist trinkets, but it is gorgeous and must not be missed on any trip to Tuscany. Next up was the big city vibes of Florence with David by Michelangelo, one of the most famous statues in the world. If not by the David, Florence is instantly recognized by the Duomo, one of the largest in the world and most beautiful. It's a striking building. Here we see Cosimo Medici, the first Grand Duke of Tuscany, and Florence, a very influential figure. The statue of Neptune has been here since the 1560s. It's built of white striking marble and has lived across the centuries. Florence is a beautiful city. You can't help but stand here in the Palazzo Vincicchio and just think of all the people who came before you thousands of years and looked at this view. Or stand on the Piazza Michelangelo and overlook the city without feeling warm-hearted and just great vibes. As our month in Cortona came to a close, it's only fitting that we would return here to this spot with the view that ends all views. Cortona turned out to be an excellent base for exploring Tuscany, and as you saw, we made several day trips from the area, but we kept coming back every night to the sunset at our lovely villa up above the clouds on the hilltop in the hill town known as Cortona, Italy. We felt it as if it said, "Sleep well," and we did.